Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
All right.
Why isn't this working?
Oh.
That's also from D&D. Excuse me. What the heck? Hold on.
Well, it's a nice landscape view there.
That's the Underdark. Well, I don't know if it really is. I found it on the internet. Aha. Why do you not like my camera? What the? Hey, there we go. Yes. Okay.
There we go.
Maybe we'll, I don't know, leave the background. What do you think?
That looks good. Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
You too. Yeah, just do the old blurred background thing. Oh man, my lips are like so pink. What the hell is wrong with this freaking camera? Blur. Oh, boring. Oh well. Okay.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, everybody, welcome. And I think we got everything sorted out. If I can find my notes properly here.
Are we live right now? Can I share?
We are live. We are live right now.
Okay, I want to tweet it.
Cool.
And then I'm going to start the Twitch myself so I can see the chat. Probably won't be able to answer anybody. But okay. I think you sent me your username somewhere here. Oh, there it is.
Get set up. My people to watch my streams are used to stuff like this anyway.
So. Oh, you should.
I rarely ever am just ready to go.
Every time when I was streaming there, I haven't in a long time because of having a kid. But right. I have like an hour of technical difficulties before. Oh man, so bad. Okay, and then I grabbed the link and then I put it into the Twitter. Doing a thing.
Good job. Doing things. And my first stream, I got back from Japan, and my first stream I did, it was just nothing worked at all. And I had like a USB was plugged into the wrong thing. Yeah. Took me about an hour to figure it out.
Oh, that's the worst when it's something super simple.
Right.
You're just like, no. Well, you automatically go to the hard stuff first, right? Yeah.
Right. Oh, my camera. I need to update everything. And yeah.
Yeah.
You ready to go?
I think so.
All right. I'll try an introduction. Tonight, a little different live stream, guys. We have Brittney SLAYES from Unleash the Archers here. I'm super excited. The band was founded in 2007. Still going strong with some new music on the way. And thank you so much for being here. How are you doing, Brittney?
I'm doing well. Thanks. Yeah. Good. How are you?
I'm great. Let's see. So October 4th, you and Scott had a baby, yeah?
Yep, we did.
How is that going?
It's going great. I mean, it's horrible and it's great all at the same time. It's unlike anything else in the world. So,
so first child.
Yeah.
We have one kid, and that was enough, but it is amazing and frustrating, but yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can understand why you would do the one and done.
We got a good one, so we just stopped.
Like, I'm not jinxing this by trying to have another one. Yeah.
Right. Don't want to risk it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I get that. I think we'll try for a second. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Yeah,
see how this one turns out.
It'd be nice to have, the point where it's like, just go play together, and I gotta write an album,
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So even and around then, your album was in the mixing and mastering process?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's
awesome.
It's off to Jacob Hansen now. We took a little longer in the studio than originally planned, so we actually missed our, I don't know what you'd call it, appointment. with Jacob, and we were like, when can you fit us in next? And he's just kind of like doing it in between other projects.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's going to be a little bit longer process, but yeah, no, we're really excited to hear. He sent us kind of like he was like, he had like 3 days or something. So he's like, he just did like a quick thing and sent us a file and was like, just one track. What do you think of this? Am I headed in the right direction? And we were like, yep, go for it. And then, and then he just kind of letting him do his thing.
This a producer you're familiar with, or?
Oh yeah. He did Apex and Abyss. Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. Cause those, both those albums just play all the time for me. I can't.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let me see. Since I started doing this YouTube thing, there's been a couple of bands that have become like weekly listens and even fewer that become daily listens. And it was Bandmade and Unleash the Archers.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know, something about, for being power metal, there's nothing that ever I don't like to hear from what you guys do. A lot of power metal, there's parts of it that there's like either keys or there's something about it that's just a little cheesy sometimes. And I never get that from you guys.
Oh, yay. I'm glad.
I'm trying to think like, what is it about it that's so good? And I'm just never put off by anything. So
that's good to hear.
Yeah.
It's hard to know, like, because we're influenced by so many different genres. It's just kind of like what parts do you take and what parts do you keep, and we kind of just say that we play power metal because that's a really large part of our influence,
right?
And also it's kind of like the most fun thing for me to sing. So that's kind of like where we sort of kind of put ourselves, but we also like to do a lot of other different stuff. And so maybe that's why, because we're not like straight up and down power metal, just a little bit of everything else in there too.
Yeah, there's sometimes when you go heavy, man, it's freaking heavy, and it's not. You never hinted anything. You do it. I think maybe that's it.
Yeah, we're just like, you want to throw a breakdown in the middle of this power metal song? Let's do it.
What? Go ahead and do it. And there was something. I think it was like a bridge, little lead thing, and it went on for like 8 measures, which is great because usually you get something a really cool change and it's like 2 and you're done. I'm like, I want to do more of this.
That's true.
But it kept going. I think it's in Faster Than Light was.
Yeah.
That was my introduction to the band. Actually, was Faster Than Light, the video.
Oh, nice.
Somebody requested I watch it, and
I
didn't know anything about you. I didn't know who sang. I was like, okay, let's check out this video. And then it was funny and it was dramatic and it was shocking. I'm like, this is great.
I know, right? Where is this going? I get it. They're running faster than light. Okay, cool. Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, this reminds me of The Long Walk by Stephen King.
That's exactly what it was. That's good for you. Our director was like, we were like, okay, so this is our joke video, and and we want to be racing each other, and then we were like, but that's all we got. Like,
okay, I was gonna ask, like, where's the idea come from?
Yeah, exactly. So he was like, have you ever read The Long Walk by Stephen King? And we were like, nope. And he was like, well, basically it's like the Hunger Games, only you're doing this walk thing, and if you stop you die. And we were like, okay, yeah, let's do it, sounds great. Wow. And then that's how it turned out. And our buddy was the guy. It was our executioner, I suppose you could call him. And he had this, like, it was a prop gun, but it was pretty real looking. And he hated that we were in this like public park. And there are people everywhere. I'm not sure if you can tell. They're everywhere. We're like stopping and like letting like a whole soccer team go by, like stuff like that. And he's just like got this gun in his pocket. He's just like doo doo doo, like I'm hiding a prop gun in my windbreaker. And we're just honestly amazed that nobody called the cops on us or anything. And it would have been pretty funny if they had showed up. We probably would have filmed it, but no, it turned out okay. Yeah.
Certainly glad the police didn't need to get involved.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was really funny because a friend of mine actually lives in the area, and he's like, "What? Nobody called the cops on you? That's insane. Like for this neighborhood, that's absolutely insane because that's what they do. Like someone has a party or whatever, and
Yeah.
just a lot of NIMBYs and that sort of thing." And he's like, "I can't believe that you guys had shot an entire music video in that park outside of high school with a prop gun that looked real and nothing happened." And everyone was like clapping and being like, "Fun times." Like we were like, "Yep."
I can't remember. Was there anybody inside? Was it a fenced off area, or was it just an open track, or what was it?
Yeah, well, yeah, like the whole track is in like
Okay.
a fenced area, and then like a usual kind of school.
Okay, right. So there could be people just
field thing.
wandering by.
Yeah. Oh no, just tons of people. Yeah, out for the evening. Pretty funny.
Awesome. All right. Speaking of videos, then what was the other one I was going to ask about? Oh, how Tonight We Ride.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? And
yeah,
because it looks super fun, but I can see where something like that might be a difficult shoot.
Yep.
Where'd you get the vehicles and all that stuff?
That one was actually sort of a hookup through an ex-band member. He had all these friends that would go down to Burning Man every year and do the Thunderdome, like from Mad Max.
Yeah,
and they would set it all up, and you would get to go in and fight. And they had just had like foam bats or whatever. And
Wow.
it's like one of the most popular attractions at Burning Man. And so they had this whole team that would go down there, and they got like a prime spot. I'm not sure if anybody knows Burning Man at all, but they were right on like the main drag that circled the entire playa where all the art and stuff was. And so they were like front row basically for all the cool stuff and for the Burning Man. And then their attraction is just right across, the dome was right across I can't remember what they call it, because the whole thing is set up like a clock. And so they're always like pretty close to dead center. But anyways, so they were like, "You can use our stuff if you come and work the dome." And then one of the guys that runs it is a director from like LA or whatever. So he's like, "Come on down, work the dome," because they have a lot of people that have been doing it for years, and they just kind of it's hard work, and you have to do it every night, and you want to enjoy Burning Man. And so they're like, "We're trying to get like young blood in here to take over the hard stuff so that we, us veterans can, lay back a little bit and have a good time." So we're like, "Yeah, absolutely. We'll work the dome." And then after Burning Man is done, they let us drive around in the playa with their stuff and lent us like some of their gear was theirs and everything. So they were really awesome. It was super, super, super cool of them. Yeah.
So
then
you shot it like at Burning Man.
Well, not because you're not legally allowed to film there. Okay. So, but it's in the same desert area. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, super cool. And like he did it, he was like, he just filmed it like as kind of a quick, I don't even know how he did what he did, because we shot like maybe 3 times, like the driving, and then there was a couple of me on top of like one of their towers that they use at their camp. I just got up on top of that, and like he filmed some stuff there. And then like the just like standing in the middle of the desert stuff, we shot like 3 things, and then he just made this rad music video out of it. I couldn't believe what he did with how little, because it's hard to shoot out there. The sand would just like whip up in seconds, and then all of a sudden it'd be like, cover everything, cover the camera, blah blah blah, like intense stuff. And then you'd come out of it and you'd be like, "Oh, okay, cool, like I survived." But you are just white with like playa dust. It's because it's like prehistoric lake bed or something like that, so it's like super dry, really fine, and you're just white, like covered in flour almost. It was crazy. We were just like, "Oh my god," like laughing because you pull your goggles off and your face is like white, and except for like right around your eyes. Right. Like it's pretty funny. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Great. Since we're on the topic of videos, Northwest Passage, I think that's a pretty pretty fun videos. That's something that an idea of yours, or we had all the
That
different Brittneys showing up?
Yeah, that one was Scott and I used to live in an apartment or a condo or whatever that had a hot tub. And so we would go in the hot tub at night and like talk about music video ideas. And I don't know what it is about being in water, but it chills out all the rest of your senses. So your brain just like kicks it into high gear. And we came up with all these stupid ideas. And then we were like, what if we put them all together as like a multiverse? Because Northwest Passage is written by Stan Rogers, and what he's singing about is touring across Canada and equating it to being an explorer, like trying to find the Northwest Passage. So like he is touring, on these long drives at night and stuff, and it's kind of like the explorers before me, I too am trying to find my Northwest Passage or whatever. And so we were like, well, what if we were in another world or whatever? What would we have been doing with our lives if we weren't in the band? And then it's kind of like there is a version with the band but different members, and then there's a version where none of us are a part of music at all. And then and so we just kind of combined all these multiverse things inspired by the lyrical content of the song. But it was
fantastic.
One of the most intense, I think the most intense shoots we've ever done. It was 4 days and something like, I think it was 12 or 15 locations or something. Wow. It was just, almost as bad as Time Stand Still, which was 3 days and like 8 locations. But what sucked about that one is that we had to carry that door everywhere. But so Northwest Passage was just kind of I don't even know, fever dream.
That's awesome. I love hearing it because that's something, it's just so cool to see these. And I don't know, it could be somebody else's idea. It's just you're coming up with the stuff and you just make it happen. Yeah. That's amazing.
Heck yeah. No, it's all us. Usually Scott and I kind of come up with stuff. And then we had a hot tub. This is really funny too. We had a hot tub at the house we were staying at during the recording of this album. So all the music videos are like already planned because we just sat in this hot tub every night after coming home from the studio at like 10 o'clock at night. And we would just sit in there and be like, okay, what if we, like just doing that all night long. And then of course there'd be like moments where you're just, oh no, we can't afford to do that, or that'll be way too expensive, or like, oh, are you kidding me, that'll be like 16 different locations or stuff like that. We'd kind of bring it back down to earth every once in a while. But it was a lot of fun kind of just coming up with ideas and everything. So cool. Yeah.
So next time you press for ideas, just you got to find a hot tub.
Exactly.
Ideas I don't know what it is.
It's true. Absolutely. There's this whole thing. It's like I don't even know, Psychology Today article or whatever about how when you're in the shower you kind of start to think about stuff and the creative juices just tend to get flowing, and I think it's the same kind of thing. Just the rest of you just shuts off and your brain is like, oh, I don't have to do anything except think. This is so exciting.
It's probably already out there. We need like a shower notepad or something.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah. Because, or like
because there's some ideas you have. It's like, when I'm done with this, I got to remember that. You never do.
Yeah. Do the voice memo. That's my favorite.
Yeah, there we go.
On my phone all the time. But then you forget to name them, and it's just like the place where you were at. So it's like, what? Highway 91? What was that one? Oh no, I must have been driving. Like, what's going on?
All right. Music. Let's I expect have an answer I expect, but how's a song start for the band?
With a story. I mean, lately, that's how we've done the last 3 albums. So it's all I write like we do concept albums, right? So I do the whole story beginning to end, and then I figure out how to make it into songs, aka chapters. And then I do an overview for the boys, and I send the tracks 1 through 10, aka chapter 1 through 10, to the boys. And then it'll say what's going on in the story and what how I want it to sound, how I want it to make the listener feel, kind of what's, what the emotional impact should be. And then sometimes I'll put in there just a little tidbit about, like, oh, this one should be like super fast, or I want a lot of synth in this one, or let's do kind of, an industrial feel, and then sometimes I'll just straight up be like this song from this band, you know. And then the boys will take that and they'll write riffs and come back and they'll say, I was thinking this riff for this song. And I'll be like, yes, that's perfect. Or I'll be like, actually, this would fit better with this song. Or I'll be like, let's go back to the drawing board on this riff and try something else. And then we just kind of build it from there, and try and make each song flow properly from one to the next. So sometimes if the boys come up with something, I'll be like, actually that track that would be way better after this song.
Yeah.
So, let's take that part out that makes it this part of the story, and work it into this part of the story, that kind of thing. So, it's a lot of back and forth and working together and try and guess and test and that kind of stuff. So yeah,
that's amazing. That explains a lot. Because one thing I was going to ask, if there was like some secret formula you had to like give people chills, or if it's just how you write. And I think from what you explain, that's you explain how you want it to feel, and they just come up with music that fits that situation. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Andrew's really good at that. Like it's crazy because we actually wrote. Sorry, I just want to say to Matt Knowles in the chat there, Legacy was a great video. Thank you very much. We appreciate that, because Legacy does not get enough love, in my opinion, on the old YouTube. So
I
actually
haven't watched the video for that, but I got it circled here because that's one of my favorite songs ever in the world.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it was a fun little lyric video that we did. We just tried something out with the lyrics, kind of putting it on the buildings and everything. And it was the pandemic, so we couldn't get any indoor spaces and stuff like that. But anyways, this album, we wrote a song together in the studio, which we always kind of do, but normally Andrew, the last Apex and Abyss, the last song was always written on the fly in the studio. I don't know why. It's just kind of like a thing that we started doing. And cool. But he always had like a riff or something, or a kind of like a start to it, or like, I had this idea, and like the intro to Afterlife, he kind of had that already and was like, let's kind of do something around that. And so this time he had nothing. He came to the table with nothing. And so I had an idea. I was like, I really love this song, and I love the way that it feels. And I think it'd be a really cool way to end the album if we take something like that. And then he was just like, oh, you mean like this? And just like, and I was just like, what? Like, it's just in your head? Or like, where'd you come up with this stuff?
Cool.
Because it didn't sound like the riff at all, but it had exactly the same feeling. It was so crazy. I was just like, what? Anyways, he's a bloody genius. And so we just sat around this big table that we had at the Airbnb, and kind of were just like, yeah, cool. Now let's slow it down. Like, let's do something that feels like this. And then he would just like bust it out and was just like recording on the fly, sitting at the desk, and we wrote the whole last song together, just from like vibes. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun.
It's amazing. It's cool that, because what I said, I expected an answer, and usually what I hear is like, sometimes it's lyrics, sometimes it's a riff, sometimes it's whatever, and you have like a general way of doing things, but you still have that moment where, oh shit, that could work for this, or that's that's awesome. I just like everything even more now, knowing that that's like the process. That's so cool.
Well, thank you.
Answer a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, answer a lot of questions I was going to ask, but
okay. Good. Okay. Yeah, I talk a lot. I'm sorry. I tend to just go off. You don't want me to talk about music at a party because you'll never get away.
No, I'd be that guy like, yeah, let's talk about music because nobody else wants to.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And then just the drinks go faster, and then next thing you know, the sun is coming up, and
who's got a guitar and a mic?
Yeah. I just got a question here from Grendel Red. Yes, I would like to write the Immortal Saga into a graphic novel. I am working on it. I have the first like few pages. It's just the problem is that I've got an artist and I just can't get the time, honestly. And having a kid really didn't help.
Right.
So
Right.
I've been trying to see if I can do like sit down for an hour every day and write. But unfortunately, that's being taken up by the current album stuff that we're doing for this record. So
Sure.
as soon as that's done, I will continue writing the Immortal Saga graphic novel. I promise. I promise it will happen because I want it to happen so bad. I'm like, I need this to be a thing.
I was going to ask that about like any of your, because of the story aspect of your writing, if there was ever an attempt at a novel or anything like that. So, because there should be
fun.
The amount of story you put into one song is just, it takes me to places when I listen to your music. And I was like, I hope you put something like that into a book, because the amount you get from just, one song worth, what you could do with the time to really flesh it out would have to be
all the details and stuff that are in here, and I can't get them out in a song.
Yeah, I've tried. I started a book a long time ago and it got about 120 pages, and the kid and stuff and life and everything,
Yeah,
someday
I feel
I'll finish it.
Yeah, you will. You'll do it. Yes, kids ruin everything. Beep, bop, boop. One.
Big adventure. Oh yeah, when I just watched the I just random notes I took. I just wrote down whatever I could think of. The Awakening full band playthrough from 2017. And I realized what Scott was doing. It sounds like right, left kicks, and he was doing right, left. I thought that was interesting.
Heel toe technique.
Yeah.
It's it's interesting. I don't know how he does it. It's funny because sometimes when he's not really like thinking, like he'll just suddenly start hearing on the floor, and you look over and he's like just doing it, like while watching TV or something. Right. Like, how are you even doing that? It's like this really weird, like you get two hits out of it, out of one stroke or whatever. So it makes, I don't think it's easier. Everyone's like thinks that it makes it easier, but I don't think it's easier. It's, you can get just really flowy double kicks with it or something like that.
Yeah, so I think it's more of like an efficiency thing, to where part of it is like your leg drop and then your foot. So you're with one motion, you're getting two.
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea. I'm not a drummer.
Drummers are freaks anyway.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I try, but I keep it to really simple, like blues stuff, and then
I can do like.
There you go.
With the kicks on the one.
Right.
That's it.
Do you play any other instruments?
I played clarinet in high school, but I could not pick it up right now and play anything for you. I can tell you that right now.
I played clarinet in junior high.
Nice.
I did.
Wasn't
real thrilled about it.
Yeah, right. It's I think I still have it like in the closet of my parents' house. Great instrument though. If you've ever listened to Woods of Ypres, I don't know how to say it. He puts a lot of wind instruments into his later records, and it's amazing. I'm like, really? The song is an oboe? That's fantastic. Why does that sound so good? Right. This is black metal. Where'd you get an oboe? But no, I don't play anymore. I did buy a ukulele in the hopes of being able to sing to Lenny on the ukulele with her, and maybe have her learn ukulele as well. But we're not quite there yet. She still doesn't even understand what I'm doing when I'm singing at her. So
she might still be having sounds translate into her vision. I think there's some overlap there.
Yeah.
When you're a baby.
No idea. Yeah, I know. Weird stuff. I don't even know what they're thinking about at any given time. Is it just blah 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 blah, like all the time? Like they don't know. They don't have words. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Pretty funny.
But you sure like to think they understand.
I mean, sometimes they feel like they get it. Eventually.
Well, so I was watching the Acoustic video. I was like, wow, Scott is really talented. You got me.
That was the point.
This guy can play anything.
No, I know. That was the point. It was so funny because we we don't live together anymore, and so we wanted like in a way that we can jam regularly or whatever. And Nick is over like on the other side of the country, so we were like, how do we do a video for this that makes sense? And because it was just a little EP that we were doing in celebration of the Apex 5th anniversary.
Yeah.
And the important part of that was the yearbook. I was like, I want to get the yearbook out there so that you can have a Apex and Abyss yearbook. And Napalm was like, well, you can't just release an yearbook, you need new music. And so we were like, okay, well, let's do the like what we did for Abyss, a synthwave out song and an acoustic song. And so we were like, let's do a like an actual video for Acoustic Effects. But what the hell do we do? And Scott was like, well, I'm not even like, there's no drums except for the chimes at the end. And so we were like, oh, okay. Oh, yes, great idea. And so Andy put all this symphonic stuff in it, and we just got to play everything that
That's
Andy
awesome.
put in there. It's so funny. So we're just like, yeah, so we'll be like super serious, and we're like, we got our sheet music in front of us, and like playing like we're in a real orchestra, and then Scott will show up with like the timpani and the cello and the flute and all the good stuff. It was really funny. It was the best that he was like so straight faced about it too, and he like watched YouTube to figure out like how you do the strokes and everything and how you hold it. It was really, really funny.
That's awesome. It worked. I was like, man, there's a lot of talented people. That's pretty. He's like guitar, bass, and drums. He's playing everything.
No, yeah. So
if you haven't watched the video, anybody go check out Acoustic Effects.
We may have ruined the punchline, but it's still worth the watch. Oh, thank you, Matt. Thank you very much. And Thembor Ember 99. What's on my playlist right now? I'm pretty much like solely listening to the new Dragonland record. I know it's not new anymore because it came out in like February or something like that, but Dragonland. And this band that I discovered called Threshold.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't even know. It seems like they've been around a really long time, but they just put out an album, or not just, called Divided Lines or something, maybe I think it was called. And I think it's about the pandemic. And I can't tell like if they're what side they're on, if they were like maskers or non-maskers from the lyrics. So I don't know if they align with your political views, or if they don't. I'm sorry. I just like the music. So anyways, yeah, just those two bands right now. No Baby Shark. Absolutely not. I am not getting that song in my head. No. We will stick with Number Blocks on Netflix. Thank you very much.
Good. That's good. I never listened to that song voluntarily ever. I don't want to.
Although I do like it in Ted Lasso. Jamie Tart, Jamie Tart. That's good. I like that.
Knocked out a bunch of my questions with your music, talking about how you record the music. That's awesome, though.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. It's just that stuff I really wanted. When I listen to bands, I want to know, like, I know how I come up with music, you know what I mean? And I just want to know, like, well, what's it like for you, and
Absolutely.
as usual, it seems like surround yourself with fantastic musicians, and that's
gonna happen.
better than you if you can, because it's gonna work out for you.
Yeah, that's how you learn.
So how long, when did you start singing, or when did you think, maybe there's something here? I'm going to be good at this.
I mean, I didn't really think that I was good at it and at all until I started singing heavy metal. But I started, well, like I joined choir when I was 8, but because that was my mom's idea, and because she had heard me singing, and I mean, I loved singing. I was always singing, and but the moment where she kind of knew was I was in daycare. So however old you are when you're at daycare.
Yeah.
And she was late picking me up, and the daycare person or whatever was like just kind of like watching me, and my mom was like, what's going on? And the lady's like, just wait a minute. And then I started singing, And she was like, she's been singing that all day. What the hell is that song? And my mom was like, oh my God, that's the theme from the movie we watched last night.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
perfect, note for note. Like, how is she singing that so well after just hearing it one time? And the lady's like, I don't know, but you got a singer on your hands. So my mom was like, yes, I do. And so as soon as I was old enough, she put me in like the local community choir or whatever, and I sang chamber music until I was 23. And then I did a lot of musical theater and stuff as well in there. That was like a lot of fun doing all that, and summer camps. Yes, I went to like musical theater, totally nerdy summer camps. And then yeah, so just kind of sang really since as early as I can remember. But it wasn't until university when I joined the choir there that it was like, oh, like I'm surrounded by like music majors.
Yeah.
This person is going to school for their voice. Wow, I totally suck. I need to get better. And started like trying and learning about it and getting better and doing like a few lessons here and there and that kind of thing. And then when I started getting back into heavy metal and singing in Unleash the Archers, I was like,
Mhm.
there's so many killer voices out there. I want to do what they can do, you know, like Jeff Tate and Bruce Dickinson and um, just amazing vocalists in the sort of heavy metal, power metal, sort of trad metal genres that were just like, oh, I need to be like these guys, like Daniel Heyman from Lost Horizon. So then I was like, okay, now I need to really learn how to sing.
Well,
Yeah.
I think you did it. I
Well,
really
thank you.
think you did.
There's always more to learn, though. Yeah.
Yeah, you should always be, no matter how good you are, you should be able to learn something else. But I had started doing YouTube stuff, and Nightwish was kind of the first band that got me any kind of subscribers or anything. And from there, I got a lot of people saying, you need to check out Unleash the Archers. If you like them, you need to check out Unleash the Archers. And and it took me a while. I was like, all right, I got sidetracked by a couple other bands. Then
What
I
a
finally
shitty
got,
band name. I'm not listening to that.
oh, it sounded awesome. But
Just
there's
kidding.
a band called Bandmade, which occupied most of my like a year
Oh,
because I
nice.
just fell in love with them. And then I finally listened to you guys. I'm like, oh my God, I really wish I would have listened to them sooner because
Haha.
it's just everything. It's like everything I want to hear.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
amazing. Your
Well, I'm glad you
vocals,
did.
me too. Your vocals actually affected how I play guitar,
Oh,
believe it or not.
and how do
Your
they do that?
your vibrato and the length of time you hold your notes made me pay more attention to how long I'm holding notes in solos and stuff.
Oh, cool. It's a
And
little
it
more
kind of,
sustain.
yeah, just it's.
Nice.
I knew it was important to kind of do that when you're playing to let it, you know, hang on to that note. But after I
Right.
listened to you sing, you there's something, I don't know, something about your voices maybe pay attention a little more. I think.
Oh,
I was like, oh
thanks.
man, sounds freaking cool. Maybe I can steal that for guitar.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So Dungeons and Dragons, I can't talk. I tried to play Dungeons and Dragons once. I know you're an
And you
avid
didn't
Dungeons
fall
and
in love
Dragons
with
player.
it?
Well, here's the thing. My son, Stranger Things was super popular, and he's like, I want to play Dungeons and Dragons. Like, you know what? I've always been curious about that too. So we got like a starter
Let's
kit.
do it. Nice.
We sat down, and I'm like, this is really complicated. and he was
Oh, okay, a
bored. He
little.
was bored like immediately. And I was like, I'm sorry, man. I don't know what to do. Then it was, we
Oh.
didn't get back to it.
Oh, but
I'd
so it's
like
like
to.
character creation or whatever. That's the fun part where it's
Well,
like
yeah, I didn't
you
know
just don't.
like,
Yeah, in the beginning you don't even like worry about numbers or any of that stuff. Just be like,
yeah.
I want to be like a human barbarian with a big axe, and I come from a land far away where whatever, and then you just play. You know what I mean? Like,
You see, that's
I
why I
don't know.
didn't. I'm like, you just make shit up. What do
Yeah,
you?
that's the best part.
Yeah, I was expect. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, I don't know. He's like,
Yeah,
well, what
well,
are we supposed to do? I'm like, I don't know.
yeah, we're really lucky because when we started during the pandemic,
Yeah.
and um and it was with a friend of ours, and he was just like, whatever, you're all level 5, who cares, just get a name, get a character, and let's just have some fun. And so we just kind of were like thrown into it, and we did it on Twitch live, So we constantly have people in the chat being like, you're a rogue, you get a, whatever, bonus attack. Like, come on, let's go.
Come on, guys.
Yeah,
that's
like
cool.
You can rage here, like, let's go, let's do this. Come on, you guys are totally messing it up. And so we just learned a lot on the fly really fast and just kind of had a good time with it. So, but
cool. Maybe I should give it another shot. Total noob and embarrass myself online sometime.
Oh, well, yeah, no, absolutely. It's a really good time. You just got to find people that know what they're doing. And then that way you can just kind of cruise along and let them do all the hard work.
I was with like one of the first bands I joined called Lost Gods. A couple of the guys played and they had like notebooks just with all the notes and all the stuff. And I was like, they were very serious, and it wasn't like, can I just like hang out and see how this works? You know what I mean? So
you gotta find a sort of an in between.
Yeah, it'd probably be easier now to kind of find a thing like that with how you and I are talking. That it wouldn't have happened, several years ago.
For sure.
But I don't know.
Thank you for the pandemic. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. There's some things that definitely changed a lot of things the pandemic did.
It sure did.
Shabo is what kinds of stories do you enjoy playing? More narrative ones or more crash and carry dungeon crawling campaigns?
I really like the battle stuff. I mean, I like the role playing is fun as well, but I do like the dungeon crawling kind of, hack and slash kind of stuff. I think that's a good time. You got to hang out with us on Twitch. We play once a month. Yeah, it's July now, right? Yeah, we'll be playing sometime this month. So not sure what day yet, but we announced it on Twitter and Instagram. Maybe not Twitter. Oh, I think I forgot to announce the last one on Twitter. Whoopsies. Definitely Instagram. So follow us on there.
I'll check out the next time you guys do it.
Yeah, it's a good time. I mean, it's also a lot of us just being total idiots. And it's hard because the boys, when they get together, they get each other riled up. And I'm always like, can we focus, please? We really want to play all day long. Like, I mean, I would, but no one wants to sit here for 6 hours, guys. Come on. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
If you have time, or maybe you don't have time, have read any books? Got any books you've been reading or favorite books you've read?
Yeah. Joe Abercrombie, the what's it called? The Blade Itself, which is like the first book of the first Law trilogy. There's 3 books in the first trilogy, and they're absolutely phenomenal. And I just bought the second. It's not really a trilogy, kind of is, but isn't. But the second set of 3 books in that same world. Okay. So I'm really excited to start those. And I'm in the middle of The Witcher as well, but there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the middle of the first 3 that he wrote: The Blood of the Elves, Time of Contempt, and Baptized in Fire or something. So we got to finish those. What else am I reading? Yeah, I tend to read many things at once. I'm in the middle of like a bunch of different series. Kelly Armstrong, she's a Canadian author. She does like fantasy stuff, like really easy to read, digestible fantasy. Sometimes I'll just read one of those because it's sometimes fantasy can get pretty heavy, and I just need the easy stuff. Yeah, kind of, I don't know, mostly just like science fiction and fantasy. I'm rereading the Mathematical Universe by Max Tegmark, which is like crazy astrophysics stuff. It takes me a while to read though, so I have to like really slowly wrap my brain around it, but I just love his ideas and the way that he looks at the world and stuff. So that's another one that I'm in the middle of too.
So that's not a novel, that's more of a look at mathematics in the world.
Yeah, it's like
awesome.
Yeah,
I'm reading like two books, just 2. My wife she's addicted to books. We've developed a bit of a library, and she likes her big series and stuff. I got the Akin Chronicles by Cited is what I'm reading right now.
Nice.
And so I'm enjoying. I found in the summer, if I want to read a book, I need to smoke some like pork shoulder. And that gives me excuse to sit for like 5 or 6 hours and monitor the temperature.
Nice.
So I can sit there and I can read a whole book in a weekend.
Like, that's a good one. That's a good one. Nice. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, well, the next book's shorter. I can read that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely hard to find time to read these days.
Yeah.
Scott does audiobooks, so he's in the middle of N.K. Jameson. What's it called? The 5th season or something. That whole series. But he does that at night. And but the problem is that we're so tired the second we get into bed that he will listen for like 10 minutes and then be asleep.
Yeah.
And then he's got like the 30-minute thing on. So the next night he rewinds 20 minutes and then listens, falls asleep. I'm like, I don't know why you do that, but mind you, it's no different than me, who gets through like 3 pages and is like, okay, fine.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the problem with books. Sometimes they're a great sleep aid.
Yes, sometimes. Yeah. Except for the problem is that it tends not to be that way for me. So I'm just like reading and I can't stop. And I'm like, oh my God, it's 2 a.m. and Lenny gets up in 4.5 hours, and it's like, shit, should have done that.
Yeah.
Chronicles of Elric. Might do that. Thanks, Beep Bop. Boop.
Beep Bop. What was the other? And I got a book, Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath, put out a memoir kind of thing, which is actually super interesting. He's a child and he grew up after the effects of the Blitzkrieg of London and all this. So we get like this insight into being a child in an environment, and it's we expect to hear some cool stuff about playing bass, but he goes way back. So it was really, really interesting. Like a nice surprise. Totally.
That's way cooler. Music. Heck no. The only other category that I like talking about as much, maybe if not more, is history.
Yeah. Did you absorb much about history in school, or has it been like after all that when you could just learn it? You like it during?
No, it was like grade 11 socials or something like that. And then I was like, we touched a little bit briefly on some stuff. And then I was like, grade 12 history was an elective. And I was like, oh, heck yeah. And the teacher was so rad and just so enthusiastic and had a great teaching plan. Like, I remember everything that she taught, basically. And so that was why I went to university and became a history major. Got a bachelor's of history. Did somebody say physics? Did somebody say history?
Yeah, my Discord's full of a lot of nerds and history buffs.
Heck yeah.
I enjoy, man. I do. Sure. I don't think I ever had like a good history teacher. So it was just super boring. There was like things that kind of piqued my interest in school, but then you learn how much they didn't tell you after. And it's so much more interesting,
Well, that's the problem with history and like social studies, as we call it. I think you guys have a different, or not you guys. I think it's different down in the States, the name for the subject, but social studies here, the teachers are either the best or the worst. It's like, because it's the subject that you could totally slack on. So I had one teacher that just literally showed us movies every day. It's like one after the other, and then we would take like a test, and that was great. And then like the next year I had the best history teacher who was super awesome. And anyways, again, I talk too much.
It's okay. Seriously, nobody cares. We have people in chat like, really? You want to talk about history?
Yeah, right. Let's do it.
Let's go for
Blitzkrieg. Cool.
Yeah, teachers. I was not a great student. By my senior year, I had four art classes and a study hall. That was the only way I could like make it. Okay. But then, so a great teacher can make a huge difference. Like my main art teacher probably taught me more about just life in general than any other teacher I had. He's just a really, really good guy. I learned about dealing with other people and how to kind of apply yourself, and if I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree completely.
Smart teacher, but it affected. I think about him every day.
Oh, that's nice.
What we got? Anybody say anything useful down here?
Nope, just more.
Nope, just a bunch of nerds yelling about nerdy things.
Unfortunately, I am in Lenny's room and it's nap time.
Is it? You got to go?
I do. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully I got some questions to you that you don't usually get.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
This is fun. I didn't have to say much. You did all the talking.
Sorry. Thanks for having me.
That's great. It worked out fantastic. But thanks for taking the time. I can't wait to hear the new album.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to that. And I guess keep in touch. I don't know. I'll see you on the Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start announcing stuff pretty quick here and probably do sneak peeks and whatnot as soon as we start filming all those music videos we thought up in the hot tub.
There you go. Just remember the next music video you see was thought of in a hot tub.
It was, yeah. Bye, everybody.
All right, Brittney. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too.